After the age of 60, something quiet and dangerous begins to happen inside the body, and most people never see it coming. It's not just wrinkles, it's not just slower mornings, it's not normal aging in the way you've been told. Doctors now know that after 60, and especially after 65 or 70, the body can lose strength, balance, and metabolic power much faster than people expect, sometimes within just a few years. Muscles shrink, blood sugar control weakens, the heart and lungs stop responding the way they once did, and the most alarming part, many well-meaning seniors are unknowingly speeding this process up. They follow the advice they've heard for decades. Take it easy. Don't push yourself. Just walk slowly and stay safe. But recent research suggests that for many older adults, too little intensity may quietly increase the risk of diabetes, heart disease, cognitive decline, and loss of independence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The body doesn't age simply because of time. It ages because it stops being challenged. By the time someone reaches their late 60s or early 70s, the body can begin to forget how to adapt, to stress, to effort, to change. And once that adaptability is lost, everyday tasks like climbing stairs, standing up from a chair, or carrying groceries can suddenly feel exhausting or even dangerous. What makes this especially troubling is that most people over 60 are never told why this is happening. They blame themselves. They assume decline is inevitable. They think feeling weak, tired, or unsteady is just the price of growing older. It isn't. But there is a hidden mistake, one that millions of seniors are making without realizing it, and it has nothing to do with laziness or lack of discipline. Over the past decade, a quiet shift has been taking place in medical research, one that challenges long-held beliefs about aging and exercise. Cardiologists, geriatric specialists, and longevity researchers are now questioning the idea that older adults should avoid vigorous movement altogether. In fact, doctors at institutions such as the Mayo Clinic, Harvard Medical School, and the National Institute on Aging have published findings suggesting that how the body is challenged matters more than how long it moves. One of the most influential voices in this space, Dr. Peter Attia, author of Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity, has repeatedly emphasized that muscle strength, cardiovascular capacity, and metabolic resilience are among the strongest predictors of how well someone ages. Not how thin they are, not their cholesterol number alone, but their ability to generate short bursts of effort safely. Similarly, research published in journals like The Lancet Healthy Longevity and Circulation has shown that older adults who engage in brief periods of higher intensity movement, adjusted for their age and condition, often show better insulin sensitivity, improved heart function, and slower cognitive decline compared to those who only perform low-effort activity. This doesn't mean doctors are telling seniors to train like athletes. Far from it. What experts are clarifying is that the aging body still responds to challenge, but only if the challenge is appropriate, controlled, and respectful of limitations. When intensity is removed completely, the body adapts downward, muscles weaken. Mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside cells, slow down. The heart loses efficiency. Dr. Linda Fried, former dean of Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, has stated that physical resilience is not lost with age. It is lost with disuse. That distinction matters. The reason this topic has been misunderstood for so long is simple: fear. Doctors wanted to protect seniors from injury. Families wanted loved ones to be safe. So the message became overly cautious. But safety does not mean stagnation. Modern research is now reframing the conversation, not toward danger, but toward smart intensity. And when applied correctly, even later in life, it may play a meaningful role in delaying age-related diseases. If you're over 60, there's a good chance you felt it, not all at once, but slowly, quietly. The hesitation before standing up, the careful grip on the railing when climbing stairs, the way your breathing feels heavier than it used to, even during simple tasks. Many older adults describe a strange kind of frustration. On the inside, they still feel like themselves, capable, sharp, independent. But the body doesn't always respond the way it once did. Movements that used to feel automatic now require planning, effort, caution. And what makes this harder is the unspoken fear. Fear of falling, fear of injury, fear of becoming a burden. So you do what seems sensible. You slow down. You avoid anything that feels demanding. You tell yourself, I don't want to push my luck. That decision comes from wisdom, not weakness. Yet over time, something painful can happen. The world quietly starts to shrink, walks become shorter, activities are declined, chairs feel lower, steps feel steeper, and without realizing it, confidence begins to fade along with physical strength. Many seniors carry guilt they shouldn't have. They wonder if they did something wrong, if they didn't exercise enough earlier, if it's too late now. Others feel discouraged by advice that doesn't fit their reality. They're told to just walk more, yet walking alone no longer improves stamina. Or they're shown workouts clearly designed for younger bodies, leaving them feeling invisible or excluded. What's rarely acknowledged is this. Aging is not just a physical experience, it's emotional. There's grief for the body you once had. There's uncertainty about what's safe now. There's confusion from conflicting advice. And there's a deep desire, often unspoken, to stay independent for as long as possible, to get up from the floor without help, to travel without fear, to carry groceries, to trust your body again. These feelings are shared by millions of people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. They are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of adaptation, your body trying to protect you. But protection doesn't have to mean retreat. Here is the promise, and it's one grounded in modern science, not motivation or pressure. Even after 60, 65, or 70, the body can still adapt, strengthen, and protect itself when it's given the right kind of stimulus. Not constant strain, not exhausting routines, but brief intentional moments of effort that remind the body how to respond. This is where carefully adjusted vigorous movement, often called high-intensity interval training or HIIT, enters the conversation. The word vigorous can sound intimidating, but in this context, it does not mean dangerous or extreme. It means challenging enough for your body for short periods followed by rest. For seniors, this might look like 20 to 40 seconds of faster walking, cycling, or chair-based movement, followed by full recovery. Done properly, these short efforts can signal the body to preserve muscle, improve heart efficiency, support brain health, and maintain metabolic balance. The promise is not youth. The promise is function, to walk with more confidence, to rise from a chair with less effort, to feel your heart and lungs respond again. Not in fear, but in strength. Most importantly, this approach respects safety. It can be adapted for joint issues, balance concerns, and medical conditions. It does not require gym memberships, heavy weights, or long sessions. Leading experts, including researchers featured in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity, and authors like Dr. Kenneth Cooper, often called the father of aerobics, have emphasized that intensity scaled to the individual may offer benefits that slow, continuous movement alone cannot. This doesn't replace walking, stretching, or gentle activity. It adds something essential that many older bodies are missing, a reminder of capacity. Before we go further, it's important to be clear and responsible. This video is for educational purposes only. It's meant to share general information drawn from medical research, expert opinions, and publicly available studies, not to diagnose, treat, or replace personal medical advice. Everybody over 60 is different. Medical history, medications, joint health, heart conditions, balance, and previous injuries all matter. What is safe and helpful for one person may need adjustment for another. That's why doctors and physical therapists consistently recommend discussing any new exercise approach, especially one involving higher effort, with a qualified healthcare professional who knows your health history. The goal is not to push through pain or ignore warning signs. The goal is to work with your body, not against it. Listening to your body, starting slowly, and getting professional guidance when needed are not signs of weakness. They are signs of wisdom. With that foundation in place, we can now talk clearly about why the body changes after 60 and why certain well-meaning advice often falls short. After the age of 60, the body doesn't suddenly break down. What actually happens is more subtle and more important to understand. Inside the muscles, there is a gradual loss of fast twitch fibers. These are the fibers responsible for power, balance, and quick reactions, like catching yourself if you trip or standing up quickly from a chair. When these fibers aren't used, the body assumes they are no longer needed and begins to reduce them. At the same time, the heart and lungs become more efficient only at the level they are challenged. If activity stays gentle and predictable, the cardiovascular system adapts to that lower demand. This is why many seniors walk daily, yet still feel winded when climbing stairs or walking uphill. Another major change happens at the cellular level. Mitochondria, the tiny structures inside cells that produce energy, slow down with age. Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard Medical School has written extensively about this in his book, Lifespan. One of the strongest signals for mitochondrial renewal is short, demanding effort followed by recovery. Without that signal, energy production declines. Blood sugar control also changes. Muscles are one of the body's primary tools for managing glucose. When muscle mass decreases, the body becomes less efficient at regulating blood sugar, increasing the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. This is why so many adults develop metabolic issues later in life, even without major changes in diet. Now, here's where common advice often fails seniors. For decades, older adults were told to focus almost exclusively on low-intensity, steady activity. Walking, light stretching, and gentle movement were emphasized, and these are still valuable. But on their own, they do not adequately stimulate muscle preservation, power, or metabolic resilience. The body adapts very specifically to what it is asked to do. If it's never asked to move with purpose, strength, or brief intensity, it gradually loses the ability to do so. This doesn't mean the body needs constant strain. In fact, too much stress can be harmful. What research increasingly shows is that short, controlled challenges, followed by full rest, can be safer and more effective than long, exhausting sessions. Studies in the Journal of Applied Physiology and the British Journal of Sports Medicine have observed that properly supervised interval-style movement can improve aerobic capacity in older adults without increasing injury risk when compared to traditional endurance exercise. The problem then isn't aging itself. The problem is understimulation. And the good news is that understimulation can be corrected gently, gradually, and at any age when the right approach is used. Now we come to the most important part of this video, how vigorous interval-style movement can be applied safely and realistically for adults over 60 to help delay age-related diseases. These are not extreme workouts. They are adapted strategies supported by research and commonly recommended by geriatric exercise specialists and physical therapists. We'll go through 5 core solutions. For each one, we'll clearly explain what it is, why it helps seniors, a common mistake, how to do it safely. Solution 1, short bursts of faster walking. What it is. This is one of the simplest and most studied forms of senior-friendly interval exercise. You continue walking as usual, but add very short periods of slightly faster pace, followed by full recovery. Why it helps seniors? Faster walking briefly challenges the heart, lungs, and leg muscles. According to studies published in Circulation and the Journals of Gerontology, even modest increases in walking speed can improve cardiovascular fitness, leg strength, and insulin sensitivity in older adults. These short bursts also stimulate balance-related muscle fibers, which are essential for fall prevention. Common mistake. Many seniors try to walk fast for too long. This leads to breathlessness, joint strain, or fear, and then they stop altogether. How to do it safely. Warm up with 5 minutes of easy walking. Walk slightly faster for 20-30 seconds, not sprinting. Slow down completely for 1-2 minutes. Repeat 3 to 5 times. You should feel challenged, but still able to speak a short sentence. Flat ground, supportive shoes, and upright posture are essential. Solution 2, chair-based interval strength movements. What it is. Using a sturdy chair to perform repeated sit-to-stand movements, or seated marching in short intervals. Why it helps seniors' lower body strength is one of the strongest predictors of independence. Dr. Maria Fiadaroni Singh, a leading geriatric exercise researcher, has shown that even very old adults can increase muscle strength when exercises are done with intention. Chair intervals activate the thighs, hips, and core, muscles critical for standing, walking, and preventing falls. Common mistake: trying to do too many repetitions without rest, leading to fatigue or knee discomfort. How to do it safely. Sit tall in a sturdy chair, stand up and sit down repeatedly for 20 seconds. Rest fully for 60-90 seconds. Repeat 3 to 4 times. Use armrests or a counter for support if needed. Stop immediately if you feel joint pain, not muscle effort. Solution 3. Low-impact cycling or pedaling intervals. What it is. Using a stationary bike or portable pedal device to perform brief periods of faster pedaling. Why it helps seniors cycling is joint-friendly and allows cardiovascular challenge without balance risk. Research in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology shows that interval cycling improves heart function and blood vessel flexibility in older adults. It's especially useful for those with knee or hip arthritis. Common mistake: setting resistance too high or pedaling fast without proper posture. How to do it safely. Pedal easily for 3 to 5 minutes. Increase speed slightly for 30 seconds. Pedal slowly for 1 to 2 minutes. Repeat 4 to 6 times. Keep shoulders relaxed and breathing steady. The goal is effort, not strain. Solution 4. Light resistance with intentional effort. What it is: using light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even water bottles for short bursts of upper body movement. Why it helps seniors. Upper body strength supports posture, bone density, and daily tasks. According to Osteoporosis International, brief resistance challenges help maintain bone and muscle signaling even later in life. Common mistake: using weights that are too heavy or moving too quickly. How to do it safely. Choose very light resistance. Perform controlled movements for 20-30 seconds. Rest fully for 60 seconds. Focus on breathing and form. Stop before fatigue becomes sloppy movement. Quality matters more than quantity. Solution 5. Stair or step intervals, when appropriate. What it is: using a single step or low stair for short stepping intervals. Why it helps seniors. Stepping mimics real-life movement. Studies in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity show stair-based intervals improve leg power and cardiovascular fitness more effectively than flat walking alone. Common mistake: skipping balance support or moving too fast. How to do it safely. Hold a railing or wall. Step up and down for 15-20 seconds. Rest fully. Repeat 3 to 5 times. Only attempt if balance is stable. Safety always comes first. A critical reminder: vigorous does not mean exhausting. It means briefly challenging, then fully resting. When done this way, these strategies may help delay type 2 diabetes, heart disease, muscle loss, sarcopenia, loss of balance, and independence. It's important to pause here and take something in, because this message often gets lost. The aging body is not fragile by default. It is adaptive. Research in gerontology has repeatedly shown that adults in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s can respond positively to the right kind of physical challenge. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily, quietly, safely. What changes with age is not the ability to adapt, it's the speed of adaptation. Progress may come more slowly, and that's perfectly okay. Slow improvement is still improvement, and in many cases, slow improvement is safer and more sustainable. Many people fear that if they've been inactive for years, the window has closed. It hasn't. Dr. Eric Topol, cardiologist and author of Superagers, notes that consistency matters far more than history. The body responds to what it experiences now. You don't need to reclaim the strength of your youth. You only need enough strength for your life today. Enough to stand confidently, enough to breathe deeply, enough to trust your balance again. Even small changes, 2 or 3 short sessions a week, can send powerful signals to the body. Stay capable. Stay responsive. Stay alive to effort. There is no deadline. There is no race. There is only the next step you choose. Vigorous interval-style movement does not exist on its own. Its benefits are shaped and often multiplied by the way the rest of your day is lived. Sleep is one of the most important partners. During deep sleep, the body repairs muscle tissue, balances hormones, and restores the nervous system. Research published in Sleep Medicine Reviews shows that older adults who move with intention during the day often experience better sleep quality at night. Not longer sleep, deeper sleep. Hydration also matters more than many realize. As we age, thirst signals become weaker, yet dehydration can increase fatigue, dizziness, and muscle cramps. Even mild dehydration makes exercise feel harder than it should. Drinking water consistently throughout the day supports circulation, joint health, and temperature regulation during movement. Routine is another quiet protector. The body thrives on predictability. When movement is tied to a regular time, after breakfast, mid-morning, or early evening, it becomes less of a decision and more of a habit. Geriatric behavioral studies consistently show that routines reduce anxiety and improve adherence to physical activity in older adults. Mindset may be the most overlooked factor. Approaching movement as practice, not performance, changes everything. There is no score, no comparison, no failure. Each session is simply a conversation with your body. Nutrition supports this process as well. Adequate protein intake, discussed in depth in books like Proteinaholic by Dr. Garth Davis and Eat to Beat Disease by Dr. William Lee, helps preserve muscle and support recovery, especially when combined with resistance or interval-style activity. Finally, recovery deserves respect. Rest days are not signs of slowing down. They are where adaptation happens. Gentle stretching, breathing exercises, or leisurely walks help the nervous system reset. When these elements work together, movement becomes less intimidating and more sustainable. If you've stayed with this video to the end, that already says something important about you. It says you care about your future. It says you're paying attention. And it says you're open to learning, not forcing your way forward. Healthy aging is not about chasing youth. It's about protecting independence, confidence, and quality of life, one thoughtful decision at a time. If this message resonated with you, take a quiet moment to acknowledge that. Then, if you feel comfortable, tap the like button. It helps this information reach others who may need reassurance more than motivation. In the comments, you're invited, only if you wish, to share your age or what kind of movement feels safest for you right now. Many viewers find comfort in realizing they're not alone at this stage of life. If you value calm, science-based guidance on senior health, longevity, and practical wellness, consider subscribing. New videos are created with the same respect for safety, clarity, and dignity. And finally, remember this. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to do it perfectly. You only need to begin where you are. Your body is still listening, still adapting, still capable of responding to care. Thank you for giving your time and attention to your health today.